Hi everybody, this is Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook, and today we're going to do part 2 of the Fall Into Reading Challenge book options that I pulled all from my shelf. As you saw in the first video, I've been using my trusty spreadsheet that I created to kind of help me organize the books. And thank you to all of you that commented and said, "Oh, I'm so organized." Don't be fooled by this, because I may have it nicely on here on paper, but what happens in my reading life is always chaotic, never quite organized. So I just thought this would be an easier way for me to kind of figure out because what comes with that challenge is the little bingo card, right? And I just thought that this would be an easier way for me to find options, because I've been, I think for the last 2 years now, really struggling with usually my first choice of a book that I pick is not the book that I want to end up reading, and I don't end up reading it. So I think having options is kind of going to be putting me in a situation to be more successful in this whole process. So today, the last video we did young adult and orange on the cover, and today we're going to do mystery and fantasy. And even though I'm calling these mystery and fantasy, again, like the chart says on here, there's all these other categories that these books can also fulfill. But in order for me to find a way to be able to pull the books from my shelves, I had to pick a genre and then go from there. And so this is how I put them under these. In the end, something in here that maybe is mystery might actually fulfill something else, and I need it, that will help me fill another box. So I may end up using it for that as opposed to what it is on this chart. So I know that made no sense, but it made sense up in here. So, okay, so without further ado, let's talk about the books I picked up from my shelf. Many of them you've seen before in past videos if you've been with me for a while, and that is because, like I said, these are books that I've had and I haven't read and I need to read them. The first you probably have seen when we do March Mystery Madness. I always pull a lot of the books, and one year in particular, I really was on the hunt to find Black mystery writers, and I found this one, and this one I have not read, and I've had this for a couple of years now, and this is V.M. Burns' book, The Plot is Murder, a mystery bookshop mystery. So that's the first in a series, and I think, what did I write down? I tried to write little notes so I could tell you guys little facts about it. Yeah. This is the first in a 7-book series, mystery series. This author also has 2 other mystery series that she's written. So if you do like this one, you can, and you read through those, you could read through, she has some other series that she's done. And this one, I believe it follows, her name is Samantha Washington, and she's always dreamed of owning like her own bookstore. And as she's trying to kind of bringing that to fruition, she also starts dreaming about writing her own mystery. And in the midst of all of that, somebody on the property that she's got, I think the bookshop, ends up dead, and she gets accused or is a suspect in the murder of this person. And so she's got to kind of figure her way out of this. So just like any other cozy mystery, but I thought I'd give it a chance, and I keep saying I'm gonna. So this is a possible option for mystery. And in my chart, it covers mystery, it covers author of color, it covers published before before 2021, diverse characters, and new to me author. So if one of those other ones need to be filled beyond mystery, I could use this book if I choose this one. So there's that one. The next one I have had for several years, I know now, because I remember buying this on Martha's Vineyard one time when we were on vacation. And it's by the author Laura R. King, and she's written a lot of books. She's very prolific. I've only read one of her books, and that was called, I think, The Beekeeper's Apprentice, which is the beginning of a Mary Russell and Sherlock Holmes series. This one is number 12 in that. So I've read one and this is 12. I'm one of those type people that very much doesn't like to read things out of order. So there is a chance I won't read this, but for others maybe that wanted to have something. This also could be an orange on the cover too, but this is a mystery. This is book 12 in that series. I think the reason why I bought it, because I think I have maybe 3 books in the series that I own, and I've only read one. And then I have this one. I think what it was is I was trying to support the independent bookstore on the Vineyard when I saw this one, and I was like, let me just grab it, because I did enjoy the first book. And I think when I was first looking into these, I had talked to a representative at Barnes and Noble, and she raved. She said, the first one's good, but stick with it because it gets better and better and better. So we'll see. So this is an option if I really want to just break out of the mold and go to 12 from 1. So there's that one. In that one, we said that one fulfills Orange in the Cover. That one's a mystery. That one is a historical fiction. That one was published before 2021, and then it's not a new to me author. So, and I guess it could be a sequel too, because it's it's in the thing. So I didn't put that down, did I? It should be there. All right. So the next one I just talked to you guys about recently, because I got it in my birthday book haul, is the Dikagon House Murders, a Japanese cult classic mystery by Yukito Ayatsuji. And this is the first English translation of this book. I think it was written in the 80s, I believe. And it's, what else did I write? Did I write anything else about him? On this one, it says, for example, in the back, I'll read a little bit. Okay, it says the lonely rock-bound island of Tsutsunojima, is notorious as the site of a series of bloody, unsolved murders. Some even say it's haunted. One thing's for sure, it's a perfect destination for the K University Mystery Club trip. But when the first club member turns up dead, the remaining amateur sleuths realize they'll need all of their murder mystery expertise to get off the island alive. It just sounds really good, and I think it also has a blurb in the beginning, if I'm correct. Maybe I'm not. I have another famous Japanese author. Oh, not on this one. But anyway, I do want to read this one, and I got it. And if I do read this one, not only will it fulfill this, but it will also help me feel much better about reading the books that I get from my birthday book haul. Because I said if I don't read the books before my next birthday, I can't do a big birthday book haul. So I know all these rules. This one covers a mystery. This one also is a new to me author. It's an author, I said, of color. It's a standalone, so it definitely fulfills a lot of those things. The next one, oh my God, I love this. This one makes me happy, the cover. I've only heard good things about this book, so I really want to read it. This one is a mystery and a slash historical fiction. Dead Girls. It's a Harlem Renaissance mystery by Nikesha Afia, and look at that. Yeah, beautiful. Even the back is pretty, and the spine is pretty. It's just gorgeous, right? I know. I did this last time I showed you the book. So this one I definitely would love to get to and have read it this year. It says it's an start of an exciting new historical mystery series set during the Harlem Renaissance from debut author Nikesha Afia, and it's set in 1926. It says young black women like Louise Lloyd are ending up dead following a harrowing kidnapping ordeal. When she was in her teens, Louise is doing everything she can to maintain a normal life. She's succeeding to. She spends her days working at Maggie's Cafe and her nights at the Zodiac, Harlem's hottest speakeasy. Louise's friend, especially her girlfriend Rosa Maria Moreno, might say she's running from her past and notoriety that still stalks her. But don't tell her that. And it goes on and on. I've only heard really good things about this one. This one will fulfill a lot on it because, like I said, it's a mystery. It's also a woman of color. It's a new to me author. It's a historical fiction. It's diverse characters. And I think it's published in 2021. So it could fulfill a lot. Yeah, I was excited about that one. Now this one, I told you when I talked to you guys about this book before, it's really funny because I own 3 books from this, I think 3, maybe more, but 3 books by this author. And this book here itself, I have bought it twice. Don't ask me, just don't. It's still sitting on the shelf down there. I may do it as a giveaway because I can't have two of the same book. But anyway, it's Aravind Adiga. I guess I say his name is Adiga. No, I know. I always mess with his name. I've got several of his books, and this one, I just blows my mind. The description of it, I don't know why. I just feel like I'm going to enjoy if it lives up to the promise of the blurbs on it. I think that I'm going to appreciate it. But this one, it follows a I think a legal. I think this one. Yeah, I think it's like an illegal immigrant, and they witness an actual murder. And it's set in Australia. That's what else is very cool, and that if they report what has happened or what they've seen, they could possibly be deported. So there's that: do I tell or don't I tell? Do I save myself or do I help somebody else? So I just think that the premise of it sounded good. I thought that it's set in Australia would also be very interesting. And so this one is definitely up there on the topics of, and this covers the same things: mystery, author of color. This one is also a standalone. And I said thriller horror too. I think that we could probably put that in this. Now the last one I showed you also. Of course you've seen these all because they're on my shelves, but this is the Inspector Multibano mystery series. I've waited and finally for my birthday I put it on my list because I've heard so many things about it and I wanted to read it. And it's a 28 book series. The author passed away in 2019 and they just released his last book, which I think is 28. And this is the first one called The Shape of Water. And I am kind of excited too. It's set in Italy. It's a mystery. I think that I would love to be able to read this. I think it also would be a nice, good fall book. I don't know why I feel that way, but I think this would be. It makes me think of fall, even the colors on the cover of it. So this is an option, and again, this covers the same things. He's a new to me author. This is a sequel. This is where this one could vary because this is continuing on in a series, and this was published before 2021. So those are the mysteries that I picked. Okay, so that's how many I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mysteries, and I have some science fiction slash. Now this is supposed to be fantasy. I blur it, and I know it's not some people that are very strict and sticklers on what is science fiction and fantasy. I kind of blurred it because you could read a blurb about a book and it'll say, it'll categorize it as fantasy, and then somebody else will say science fiction. So I hope I don't offend anybody here. I'm putting these under the fantasy. I believe that they are fantasy books. I also think that there are science fiction books, but that's all another topic for another day. So the first is a part of a trilogy, and this is Rosewater. And it's by Tay Thompson, and I own both. I own the first two books because I had intended on reading it and I never had. They're set in Nigeria. This one, it says, I'll read a little in the back. It says Rosewater is a town on the edge, a community formed around the edges of a mysterious biodome. Its residents comprise the hopeful, the hungry, and the helpless people eager for a glimpse inside the dome, or a taste of its rumored healing powers. Caro is a government agent with a criminal past. As sensitive, he can navigate the massive psychic space created by the dome. But when something within the dome begins killing off other sensitives, Caro must defy his masters to avert a horrifying future. Sounds kind of interesting. I wonder if this will ever be picked up. There's a lot of books that they sound so interesting and you wish that somebody would. I don't know if this has been picked up for any, adaptation for a TV or movie, but it sounds very interesting to me. So there's that. And that one fills, fantasy, author of color, published before 2021. I wrote science fiction. I put diverse characters, and I should have had new to me author because it's still a new to me author. I don't know why I don't have that one. It's checked off there. Yeah, this one is a new to me author. Yep, I'm doing my work right here in front of y'all. Okay, so there's that one. So that's one, and it's really a pretty cover, and it's good. It's nice and floppy. This is fun reading when you got a floppy cover like that. So this one I've had for ages. And, you know, at 1 year, I thought this was the year that I was going to read a Nnedi Okorafor book. Will we still have a few months to know if it'll happen? Perhaps I will start with this one. I have several books of hers and have not read any of them. I'm so funny. I think it's funny that I buy books and I don't read them, you know, of authors that I really want to read. And I hear so much good stuff. And then I kick myself when I finally get around to it. So this one sounds so interesting to me. This one is set in Lagos, I believe. And it's called Lagoon. And it says, 3 total strangers are drawn to Bar Beach. A marine biologist, a rapper famous throughout Africa, and a troubled soldier are brought together when an alien ship lands in the ocean, causing a tidal wave that will transform them and change the world. But they were not the only witnesses. When word gets out on the internet that aliens have landed in the waters outside the world's 5th most populous city, Lagos begins to erupt. Soon the military, religious leaders, thieves, and crackpots are trying to control the message on YouTube and on the streets. Meanwhile, Earth's superpowers are considering a preemptive nuclear launch to eradicate the intruders. All that stands between the 17 million residents in anarchy and death are an alien ambassador and 3 altered humans who are now running a gauntlet of horrors within the city in order to save it. Lagoon is a thriller of unparalleled suspense that will force the reader to wonder, when aliens land, what will I do? Right? So yeah, this one just sounds good. I love the cover on it too. I've had it for years now, and it's just sad that I haven't read one of her books yet. So this could be my first one. I have 2 of her on this list too. So this goes to show I have lots of her books. So there's that. And my last book is The Book of Phoenix, also by Nnedi Okorafor. I love it because it also could fulfill the orange on the cover as well. This is the prequel to, what is the other one called? Who Fears Death. And this one just, you know, a lot of times books will come out and then the prequel comes afterwards. And some people have, you know, an opinion on whether or not it should be, which order it should be read. Should it be read when it was published, or should it be read by what comes first? I think I'm going to take a chance and read this one first. Let me know if any of y'all read them both and think that that's not a good idea, and let me know why. But I'm going to read this one first and then read the other one. This one just sounds really interesting. Listen to this, okay? It says, Phoenix was grown and raised among other genetic experiments in New York's Tower 7. She's an accelerated woman, only 2 years old, but with the body and mind of an adult. Phoenix's ability far exceed those of a normal human. Still innocent and inexperienced in the ways of the world, she is content living in her room, speed reading ebooks, running on a treadmill, basking in the love of Saeed, another biological altered human of Tower 7. Then one evening, Saeed witnesses something so terrible that he takes his own life. Devastated by his death and Tower 7's refusal to answer her questions, Phoenix finally begins to realize that her home is really her prison, and she becomes desperate to escape. Let me tell you, it sounds good. It sounds good too. So, oh wow, look at that. So each of the chapters, look at that. And each of the chapters, it has the chapter, like the chapter name, and then it has like a really beautiful line art, like image. Can you see it? I don't know. I don't know if you're seeing it. I didn't even know that because I haven't opened them. You know, I haven't looked at these because I'm not reading them. There's another one. But I'm really anxious. So one of these babies got to get read, okay? Because it's kind of sad in the science fiction or the fantasy category. So those are my books for you guys. I'm going to do another video coming back with some more. They have more categories. I think they have beloved author, graphic novel. I didn't really have a supernatural one. Anybody know of a supernatural one? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to stick to my shelf. So if I can't find one that's supernatural or that will kind of go with that on my shelf. That'll be one that'll be blank because I'm not going to buy for this challenge. Historical fiction, nonfiction, science fiction, standalone, classics, thriller, horror, and contemporary. So I will do 3 to 4 more categories for the next video and show you the books I'm thinking of reading. And the nonfiction, I definitely am going to try to line up. Obviously, I'm going to read one for nonfiction November, so maybe I can line up 1 or 2, depending. But the books that I have in mind are kind of big, so maybe one that will fulfill that. But I'm excited. I think I'm going to print this twice, and I'm going to have one in here that I'll just check them off. And then another, maybe I will do something kind of cool, maybe with the book covers, to show which one I use to fulfill. That would really be cool, right? Like a little tiny picture of the book covers. If it's too involved, I won't end up doing it. But the idea is really good, right? Anyway, I hope you guys are all well. I am parched. I thought the rain and all this stuff would get rid of, but the allergies are just picked up in September again. So it's like, I spend the time coughing and sounding raspy. I hope you guys are well. Reading your books. Let me know what you're reading, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.